My wife cheated at her friend's wedding and got exposed with a STD report. So I got my divorce and kicked her out of my house without a penny. I, 56 male, discovered that my wife, Renee, 51 female, got an STD test after returning from her friend's exotic wedding. She has kept this test a secret from me for many months, and all these indicate nothing but cheating to me. Sorry for jumping to the conclusion without any solid evidence and confrontation, but as a couple, there are certain things that don't need to be told up front. It's kind of understandable. Let me give a background about us. We've been married for 13 years with no kids. She's my first wife, but I'm her second husband. She was married in her 20s and has a daughter who is now 23. Renee's first marriage crumbled in just 5 years because her ex-husband turned abusive and she fled with her daughter. She raised her daughter as a single mom. When we got married, I adopted her daughter as my own. She is a lovely being. I sponsored her education and everything. She took up an executive job after college and has been living in Manhattan since then. I was a live-in relationship with my college girlfriend until my mid-30s, but eventually we broke up and she moved out. For months back, Renee went to her friend's wedding. Her friend was getting married to a rich businessman. By rich, I mean filthy rich, the one who kind of owns a private yacht and all that stuff. The guy is in his 70s, but who cares if you can spend your winters in the Bahamas? Anyways, not judging anyone here. I deliberately skipped the wedding. Renee was already obsessed over her friend's extravagant wedding and debt-ending it with her putting up with Renee's constant eye rolls as her friend showed off her husband's richness. So, Renee goes to the wedding, comes back, and rants about her friend as a gold digger and how she found that rich man to marry. It was quite expected. She rants for a few days and then we move on. Fast forward to now. I got a runny nose and symptoms indicate flu, so I look up to consult a doctor online. Then I realize that Renee got a membership of a fitness app where she gets free physician consultations. I downloaded the app and logged in using her email ID. She gets a verification code. I don't remember where she was at the time, but she wasn't around. I called the out for her, but she didn't answer. I saw her phone lying on the kitchen counter and took the code from her phone. I made an appointment with the physician, consulted him, and then headed to get the meds with the prescription. Everything goes normal. The pharmacy guy asked me if the doctor had recommended any tests. I said yes, but let me try with the meds first. He insisted that I take the test as well because the flu was spreading quite commonly in our neighborhood. I came back home and booked the test through the same application. While doing that, I found the history of tests booked through that application. There I found that Renee had undergone an STD test after returning from her friend's wedding. Why would she do that? It was the first thing that came to mind. I remember that after coming back from the wedding, she went to visit her daughter and stayed there for a week. I didn't suspect it a bit at the time, but now all of this is adding up. I hate to say this, but she definitely did something wrong in her friend's wedding, not tested after returning, and then to avoid any sexual contact with me, she headed off to her daughter's place for a week. I reviewed the report, and it was negative. That was yesterday. In the night, after dinner, Renee asked me if I had logged into the app using her email ID. I said yes, and it took the authentication code from her phone because she wasn't around. I was expecting her to flip out, but she didn't say anything. She later did something that made me log out of the app. I didn't notice that until the next morning, which is today. I headed to the diagnostic center for the test, and there I was trying to show the appointment using the app, but I was logged out. She had changed her login email ID as well. It was just so dang annoying. Thankfully, they had registered the appointment in their system, so I was able to proceed with the test. I came back home to have a full-blown confrontation, but she isn't home now. I called her to ask where she was. She didn't respond. Instead, she texted that she's had her mother's and would be late. Now, I don't know how to channel my anger and frustration. I know for sure that she has cheated on me, but a part of me is still up to listen to her and wants to believe that I'm wrong. Update 1. Hello, everyone. Thanks for connecting with me. Talking to you folks during these anxious hours really helped me calm down. Trust me. So let me fill up from where I left off. Renee didn't come home that night. She's left over to her mother's place. Obviously, I got restless. I wasn't able to sleep that night thinking about all sorts of possibilities. The next morning she came, and I just couldn't stop myself. I asked her why she was avoiding me, And why did she retrieve my access from the application? She acted as if she had no clue what I was saying. I yelled that I knew she had taken an STD test after returning from her friend's wedding, and I also knew what that meant. She said I was accusing her unnecessarily, and that test meant nothing but a routine checkup. Though I had no evidence apart from that report, my gut feeling said she had cheated on me, so I spoke with my instinct that I knew what she was hiding. Our fight escalated, where she played victim that I was falsely accusing her of cheating, and I pestered her to confess. I got to a point where I threatened to inform her mom and daughter about the tests. I also told her that I would contact her friend and tell her that she slept with her husband. It was silly of me, but the situation got so ugly that I had lost my mind. After several rounds of shouting, manipulations, breaking down, she finally confessed after 2 days. Those 2 days were nightmares for me. She confessed that she had hooked up with a stripper at her friend's bachelorette party. She said the most classic line a cheater says after being caught. It didn't mean anything. There were no emotions attached. Sure, but my emotions do get hurt if she opens her legs for others, even if it is just for fun. I left the house and went to my office. I have a small consultancy business. It was Sunday and no one was there. It was a safe place for me to calm down. She called and texted me apologizing, but it meant nothing to me. I lived in the office for a week. I looked miserable. Everyone noticed that I wasn't going home and wearing the same clothes and a few gym t-shirts I had in my car trunk. So I went home. Renee was there, asking me what I was going to do next. She requested that we move on from that and promised that she would never do it again. I said our relationship can never be the same. I wasn't in the right state of mind to make any decision. I told her that I needed time to think it over or even to move on, and during this time I wanted to be left alone. I suggested that she move out and live with her mom or her daughter. Renee was not ready to move out at all. She pleaded with me for one last chance to fix the marriage. She said she was ready to do everything but move out. She suggested that we spend time together, go on dates and vacation to bridge the cracks that had popped up in our marriage. Spending time with her was the last thing I wanted to do after knowing the truth. I took some time to think about it, but my conscience didn't allow me to take her back. I shifted my stuff to the guest bedroom with minimum to no communication with her. After a few days, she came to check on my decision, and I told her that I was not willing to take her back. She insisted that we try once, but I refused. I told her that even living in the same house was not working out for me, and I would be moving out if she didn't leave. She was still adamant about not leaving the house and insisted on giving a shot to our marriage. I was done relaying my stand, so I just packed up my stuff and left. I checked into a motel for a few days and hunted for cheap rentals. One of my distant friends had put up his house for a short-term lease. I took that and moved into his one-bedroom condo. Since then I have been living alone. Yeah, also one more thing. One gentleman recommended on my last post that I should get tested because some filthy virus might have traveled through my wife. I did that, and thankfully it has come out to be negative. Renee contacted me initially, but then blocked her and asked her never to contact me. She told her daughter that I had abandoned her for some silly reason. She reached out to me trying to reconcile things between us. I avoided giving her the reason, but eventually I sensed that she was turning bitter towards me. Renee had been feeding her lies, so I told her the truth. She is an adult and understands things. She said she would never pester me to take her mom back and would love me whatever I decide. She was angry at Renee for jeopardizing our stable marriage for a moment of fun. I told her that I would never ask her to choose between me and Renee. I loved her, and she was my daughter despite any change in dynamics between Renee and me. She is in touch with me and regularly to check on me, but we avoid any conversation about Renee. I guess that's how I'm moving on with my life. Update 2. Hello all. This time I have an interesting update to share. Last month, I got a call from Renee's friend, Lily, 49 female. The same friend in whose wedding Renee FD up our marriage. She gave me very unexpected news. She told me that Renee had been making advances on her rich husband. Yes, it made me crack up. Renee befriended him on social media, flirted with him, and even sent him her nudes. I'm not judging that man at all, but he fell for her and reciprocated her advances. Even went on a vacation together in some island country. I forgot the name. All this was going on for over 3 to 4 months, but Lily got to know about this only recently. I told her about our separation. She didn't know about it. Lily was disappointed because she wanted to partner with me to take revenge on Renee. I asked her what about her husband. He's equally guilty. She said she wouldn't leave her husband, not so easily. Currently, she was behind Renee and wanted my help. I said sure. I can help her with anything she needs, but I'm not going to run behind Renee for any investigation or so. I don't want to scratch my wounds which took so many months to heal. She said it was cool and she understood. She would reach out if she needed any help. What happened next was Renee goes on dates with Lily's husband, but Lily was tracking her husband's phone, and she got them red-handed in a hotel room. Renee had the audacity to get into a scuffle with Lily, calling her a gold digger and stuff like that. Lily didn't give up and filed a case of physical assault on Renee. Her husband also sided with her because obviously she was the wife, and not choosing her would mean divorce, and it would have cost him a fortune. Renee was left alone. The hotel staff also gave their statement against Renee because Lily had money to bribe the staff and Renee had none. As per Lily, Renee was the one who first charged her, but she got back a hard punch from Lily which left her with bruises. The hotel authorities called the cops. Renee was left free with a small fine and a warning to stay away from them. God knows what had happened to this woman. She again sneaked into their garage and damaged Lily's car. She was so stupid that she didn't even check the camera before entering the campus. Her actions were caught on camera and Lily got her booked under trespassing and damaged her property. This second incident I got to know from Renee when she called me to bail her out. Initially I wanted to hang up on her, but then she pleaded that she had no one else to help her out and I was the only one she could count on. I bailed her out and she said she would pay me back the penalty amount. She also requested not to disclose this to her daughter and I nodded. I asked her what she was up to, and she said she was securing her future. Apparently I had ditched her, securing the future by chasing a friend's husband. She said yes, she had no other way. Lily had also done the same. She had also chased this rich man and made him divorce his wife of 20 years, and Renee was also doing the same with Lily. It was just so sick to hear all of this. I went home and told Lily about Renee's plan. I felt like a witchy schoolgirl for doing this, but Renee was wrong here in chasing someone's husband, and I had to do this. Not that I enjoyed it, but the cat fight between these two friends was amusing. I mean how both of them lured this old rich man to secure their future. I wanted to congratulate this rich man's ex-wife that she was out of this rat race. A couple of days ago, Renee called me asking for divorce. Not that I was not thinking about the divorce, but I was deliberately delaying it for two reasons. First, I don't plan to marry ever again, so it doesn't matter if I'm not officially divorced as of now. Second, Renee would have demanded a lot. I mean, I own a business apart from the house in which Renee is living. I have an ancestral house which would be divided between me and my sister. Just after the separation, I had discussed all this with my lawyer, and he suggested that I update my will. Removing Renee is descendant of my property, so that had been taken care of. Even if we don't divorce and something happens to me, Renee won't get a penny. Renee had a long list of divorce terms which included the house and maintenance for a year, apart from the huge chunk as an alimony. She said she wanted a divorce so that she could marry Lily's husband without any tussle. Apparently, he has promised Renee that he would divorce Lily provided she gets divorced from me first. I said I would discuss this with my lawyer and get back. The discussion is still on, and I'll make the update once this is sorted. Update 3. The divorce is done and Renee doesn't get anything at all. Lily and her husband had a role to play in this. After Renee asked me for the divorce and laid out her terms, I discussed it with my lawyer. I also told him about Renee's plan. He suggested I play smart, and he helped me through it. He told me to inform Lily about Renee's plan, and on the other hand asked me to delay the divorce as much as possible. I did it accordingly. Whenever Renee asked me about it, I used to stall it saying I was busy and all that. When her patience ran thin, I said I was ready to sign the papers, but without any compensation. I sent her the revised terms where she gets to keep the car. The house in which she was living was mine. I agreed to let her to live there for 6 more months. That's it. Obviously, she didn't agree with that, and she demanded money. I kept laying it on the pretense of discussing it with the lawyer. She finally accepted my terms and signed the divorce papers. But that was not it. Actually, Lily's husband was completely in Lily's control. She made him do whatever she wanted. Her husband, in order to save his marriage, did whatever his wife said. They both hatched a plan to ruin Renee. Though her husband was equally involved in the affair with Renee, Yet she held only Renee guilty of it and swore to destroy her, but forgave her husband. As a part of their plan, Lily's husband assured Renee that he would divorce Lily and marry Renee and pester her to get divorced first. We all had the same motive, not to let Renee have a penny from the divorce. I wanted to save my money and Lily wanted to ruin Renee, and her husband was obeying Lily for the sake of his marriage. Renee was stupid to fall for it. In order to marry Lily's husband, she accepted my terms and signed the papers. After all this was settled, it was time for Lily's husband to divorce Lily and marry Renee. But that's when they disclosed the truth. Renee was chatting with Lily's husband thinking it was him, but then she got a call from him and it was Lily on the other end. Renee was flustered to know the truth. She had lost everything. Like a defeated kid, she came running to me. She said, "You knew all this. You partnered with them to plot revenge on me." I said, "Yes, it saved me. My heart earned money. So why not?" She tried to emotionally blackmail me and say, "How could you betray me? You were the only one whom I thought would have my back, and you too did this to me." She was funny because she was the one who went behind my back, hooking up, and then chasing her friend's husband in order to secure her future. And now in between all this, I'm the bad guy for safeguarding my own interest. I told her that I did nothing wrong in saving my money. I have compensated her quite fairly. In fact, more than what she deserved. She shouldn't have been paid anything because she had cheated on me, but there she was driving the car bought by me, living in my house for more than a year, even after our separation. She said she would tell her daughter how I betrayed her and brought her to the streets. I said, "Sure, I can fill her up with the complete details of how her mother was showing her booty to secure her future." She left the conversation, but before that, she threatened to sue me for manipulating her and getting the divorce terms through forgery. I'm sure such kinds of charges don't exist, and now when the divorce is settled, there's hardly anything she could do. It all happened a week ago. I feel free more than ever. The divorce is done, and in a few months, I will get my house back from her day. I didn't want to take any revenge on her, and I still don't think I had taken any revenge. I was just safeguarding my money, and there's no harm in that. She or everyone can think whatever they want, but I don't care. I'm looking forward to my peaceful life and not getting into this serious relationship thing ever again.